All right, guys. So let's dive into our Week 12 preview. We have a lot to get to, so let's dive in and get into all these matchups.
3 Turkey Day games, starting off with the morning game, which is always the Lions.
Always.
And listen, I actually wish our Lions boy was here tonight.
Chairman.
I wish Chairman was here. To hear, like, I've been an advocate of why do we keep putting the Lions on Thanksgiving? Can we just can we stop this? But I'm actually intrigued by this game, Chris. You got the Lions, I think, 3-game winning streak right now.
Correct.
You got the Bills, who have been a little inconsistent recently, played in Detroit after getting out of town barely last week, come away with a W, but for whatever reason, leave Detroit. To me, that's actually, we're both on this game, Chris, and we're both on the same side.
Yep.
To me, the biggest reason I'm on this game is, like, it makes no sense to me that the Bills went back home and are traveling back again. Yep. To me, that's idiotic. And that's a lot to put on a team and a player. The Lions are playing good football right now. I think they're going to be able to put up points. Maybe they don't stop the Bills a ton, but that's okay. We're both on the Lions on Turkey Day. All right. Now I think the Bills will win this game probably, but I'm taking Lions, and that you're on Lions plus 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 is a lot of points. It's a ton of points.
Chairman said I'm just in time. Chairman, I was just about to say, like, I'm an advocate of, like, taking the Lions off of Thanksgiving football, but this year I'm kind of excited for this game. I think I'm more excited for this game than I am the night game. All right, and actually, this might be the best game of the 3. Yeah, quite frankly.
Well, I think this will be an interesting one in the sense that I think it'll be, I don't know, I think it'll be a little bit more exciting than maybe a couple of the other games. 3 straight wins, like you mentioned, while getting outgained in yardage each of those games by a pretty good margin. Then you also have, the reason why they were winning these games is based off of defensive turnovers. 3 turnovers against the Giants, who don't turn the ball. They haven't turned over the ball since week 2 or 3, and all of a sudden they have 3 turnovers last week, which is crazy. So you're creating turnovers. The defense is getting better for the Lions. Buffalo, as you mentioned, and I don't know why, but they travel back and forth. Between these, they left like a day after the snowstorm came, and like it doesn't make any sense. The Lions, when they're at home, they tend to play a little bit better, more competitive. They are going to be competitive in this game, and that's why I think they're going to cover this 9.5. Because, I mean, and here's the thing: I think the Buffalo Bills kind of tend to play down to competition on occasion. So for all of this is going to be kind of rolling into why I like the Bills minus 9.5. Over-unders at 54.5 here, so it's going to be some decent scoring. But I think the Lions will do a pretty good amount of scoring in this one to keep this closer than double digits.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills just seem, tough breaks with the weather and stuff like that, but like to go back and forth is not ideal. This is an awful spot for the Bills. I mean, if this was like a normal situation, I probably wouldn't have played this game at all. But based off the Bills having to go to and from and dealing with the weather and all that, it's an awful spot for the Bills. Awful. On a short week. I
think there's going to be some sluggishness coming out, especially with that traveling schedule. So just not really super high on the, like I said, I think the Buffalo Bills will win this. I'm with you. Bills should win this game, but I think it's like a 7-point game or something along those lines. I think it's going to be a lot closer. Lions are strong enough in the trenches also to keep this one from getting out of hand, especially if they can continue to generate turnovers. Turnovers are a key. I think they'll generate at least a couple here against the Bills team who, they might be able to force a couple against this offense. So, all right, there we go. Guys, what do you guys think about this one in the chat? Let's see. Crowd is going to be off the hook, says Chairman. Thanksgiving games for the Lions are typically pretty. I don't know. I've never. It seems
everyone said. I heard on the radio this week, like they're like, "Oh, the Lions play better on Thanksgiving," and I don't recall that. I recall them being still bad on Thanksgiving, at least in the recent future, like past. But this is a team that's more talented, playing well coming in. This is like got to be like the moment, right, where they kind of grab the bull by the horns. If you can win 4 straight and beat a Bills team that's perceived as a Super Bowl contender, obviously, um, that would be ideal. At some point, do the Lions know, Chairman, that DeAndre Swift is good? Are they aware that he's a pretty good running back?
I mean,
Give the man the damn ball.
I mean, Jamal
What are
Williams
they
is playing.
doing?
Jamal Williams is playing good ball though too. I mean,
Oh, but DeAndre Swift is on a different
true.
damn level. I know he's beat up, but if he's out there, I'm kind of the theory like if he's out there, then what do you have to lose? All right, if he gets hurt again and he's out, then he's out. But
Yeah, Lions are still bad, but they have risen to beat the teams they weren't supposed to beat. Yeah, true. Lions.
Racketing just lost his damn mind, Chris. He said, "I'm benching Swift in fantasy for Latavius Murray," and are you punking us right now? Is this a joke? That's not real.
What's up, Ted?
Why would anyone start Latavius Murray? That dude is done.
I mean, if you're looking to get touchdowns out of him, you got to get down the field first. So there's that. But Ted, Chris, you're the guy in the upper top box, right? I am. My name is Chris, and Scott.
That's you.
Scott's right down here.
I always thought I was in the top.
No, Scott's down
on my
below.
screen. I'm in the top.
That's why you seem limited. Good evening, Broncos. How are we doing? Let's see. I think I had 6 rushes for 8 yards or something like last week. Says Chairman.
6 rushes isn't enough.
No,
give him more. Don't care. Dude's talented.
I think he's not because he's not 100%, and Jamal has been balling. I mean, Jamal has been putting. I think Swift is the more talented back.
Well, that's not a debate.
So it's just reckoning. Melvin Gordon got cut. Murray is running back 1. Swift doesn't get touches. He's running back 3.
He's not running back 3 because he gets receptions. So he's definitely not running back 3.
But
dude catches balls.
The problem with Murray, and the Broncos do lean on the running game. The problem with that though is I think they've been trying to change their offense a little bit, and I think they're going to start throwing the ball a little bit more, and which is not what the Broncos do very well. Which means I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the offense.
What did the Broncos do well offensively?
Not much. It's pretty bad.
That's actually the wrong answer.
Not much.
The answer is nothing. They don't do anything well offensively.
It's
nothing.
That's the one reason
why. That's why you average
question.
The least amount of points in the NFL per game, Chris. That's because your offense does nothing well.
Well, and to Reckoning's point of starting Murray, he'll get carries. He's just not going to like a good game for Murray is going to be 6 points. Fantasy wise, like 6-7 points. Is that enough to win your league week to week? Probably not. So,
I don't even see him getting 6 to 7. I don't even know how he gets to that.
I mean, I don't know. Chris, you called USA tie. You nailed it. Did you make any money on that prediction? I did not. I stayed away from it.
He probably bet on US loss, knowing how he bets this week, apparently.
Hey. No, I did not. I didn't bet on it. I don't like betting on USA at all because I'm just like I'm nervous with it. I don't want to like. I wasn't sure how the young team was going to come out. I had a good feeling that they were going to tie 1-1, but I was hoping for that 1-0 lead, which I was kind of on. We were kind of on par with our predictions for that matchup, Scotty. I think you. What did you say? 2-1.
I maybe I had a slight lean on US. I'm trying to remember what my prediction was, but I was either on a tie or a 1-goal win for US. It was not
because I said it was a 1. It was going to be I predicted a 1-0 win, which it was most of the game, but that's what I wanted to happen with my heart, but my mind said 1-1 tie, which is what happened. Crazy. Overall, Swift is better than Murray, but Murray has gotten more usage of late, says Reckoning. Murray got 16 last week.
Against the Raiders.
When Murray has played this year, he's regularly got over 7. The Broncos coach isn't calling plays, but then neither is the offensive coordinator, and they're saying Gordon was the reason the Broncos lost games. I mean, there's a lot of reasons the Broncos lose games, realistically. Again, we don't know what the coach does. Well, we'll get to that game in a little bit, but yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I think the Lions are going to put up more points than the Broncos this week. If you're taking a player on a team that's going to score more points, go Swift. Giants at Cowboys. This one is a 9.5-point spread. Scotty, we are both on this as a bet of the week in different categories. Right now, Giants and the Cowboys. Cowboys are obviously a staple on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Everyone knows you're going to get some heavy doses of the Cowboys squad that is playing pretty well right now. Giants don't typically play on Thanksgiving Day, so this is kind of a different look to see the Giants here on Thanksgiving. But Dallas, arguably a top 3 to 5 team in the NFL at the moment. My best bet of the week is actually on the under in this game. I think this game screams under for a couple reasons. Zeke, Pollard are going to be big pieces of the puzzle when it comes to running the ball. Saquon and Danny Dimes, both going to be running the ball a little bit. That runs a lot of clock. We have a short week. We have a division rivalry. All the makings of an under. I think this game is, I kind of project this to be in like the 42, 43-ish mark here. And I think that this is going to be a more low-score, grindy kind of a game with the running game, especially with Saquon and Zeke and Pollard. So I like the under in this one more so than anything else on the spread side. But, Scotty, you have a bet on one side of this one.
I do. I'm on a side here. Catching up in the chat, Rack is still on. Williams is Detroit's goal line back. Murray has a better chance to score TDs. LOL. Yeah, I know, but also Swift could break for a TD, and let's be honest, the Broncos are averaging about a TD per game, and I'm not sure it's going to fall into Latavius Murray's lap. Like, arguing that a Bronco player has a better chance to score touchdowns is an uphill climb for me. I know he had one last week. Love Chairman in this one. No Cooper Rush, take the under. You guys all saw
that.
You guys
Did I forget that?
Did I forget that? Anyone see the Cowboys Vikings game last week? Anyone see it?
I don't know.
Did Cooper Rush put up like a 40 burger on the Vikings, or was that Dak Prescott? Thank you very much.
Sorry, I forgot that in my analysis. I totally forgot to talk about that one.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
Chairman's like, yes, Cooper Rush played versus Vikings. He probably did at the end of the game. They pulled away from the game. I'm not sure what happened at the end, but I bet Cooper came in. But saying all that, knowing I'm a Cowboys guy, I actually have the Giants at 10. So I have Giants plus 10 in this one. I think a divisional affair. Giants are looking for revenge after losing early on in the season to the Cowboys. And there's something called a 50-point rule, Chris, which doesn't come up a lot. But in the NFL, when one team covers by a ton the week before, and the other team doesn't cover by a ton the prior week, that following week, what side should you be on, Chris?
You should be on the team that didn't cover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when it combines to 50 points, and it was a lot more than 50 for these two combined, it was closer to like 65, 70 almost. I think just the right side here is the Giants. I think they're going to show up. They're going to be angry. They're going to battle their lives out. These games are generally close. They have a good idea of each other. Do I think the Cowboys win this game? I do. I definitely do. But I think it's going to be a single-digit win for the Cowboys. And for that reason, give me Giants plus 10.
Yeah. I don't hate that pick. I just think that, again, I'm kind of on the under for a lot of the reasons why you think this is going to be a grindy game, right? A close game. So, if it kind of makes sense for me to pick the under and you pick the Giants as opposed to the over and the Cowboys that kind of go hand in hand with each other a little bit more from that standpoint. So let's see. Cooper Rush will win MVP Turkey just by being in the stadium, says Milwaukee's. I just need to get a Cooper Rush emote. He's obviously one of those guys that, you know, he's like what do they call those? I don't know. Like the gain like a cult following. Like I think Cooper Rush is one of our cult following like characters in this show. Everyone like keeps throwing him out there.
Chairman just said Linsanity. It feels a lot like Linsanity. Like we'll invest in this, Chris, and then he'll be forgotten very, very soon.
Yeah.
Because when you say he was carried by Tony Pollard, Rex says Tony Pollard carried Dak. Dak was 22 of 25 for 276 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pretty damn good. 22 of 25. 3 incomplete passes on 25 attempts. 276 and 2 touchdowns. And quite frankly, could have been a lot more. That's not a lot of attempts. So didn't need it because they were dominating, but were a decent amount of those yards to Pollard in the passing game? Maybe. But that doesn't mean Dak didn't play great. Someone find me a game where Cooper Rush threw for 276. I'm not sure he's ever done in his career.
I can't believe we're still talking about Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
he's been out.
These people know. I think they just do it because they know it aggravates me.
Exactly. Hey,
and on that note, I'm doing a code yellow real quick.
Code yellow, spam it in the chat. I have the Giants winning, says BP. He's got a winning outright. Okay. I don't know if I have a winning outright, BP. Can we get a shout out for, by the way, BP, who also does some streaming as well? Got to support you. Chairman as well. Shout out to Chairman. All you guys. We like to support all of you guys who are doing the streaming thing too. Mac Jones had a similar comparison or completion percentage. How did that game go last week? Keep in mind, and we're going to talk about this in the Patriots and the Vikings matchup, but actually, I'll save it. We'll touch on that here in a little bit because that is another best bet that we have coming up. So I'll just let you sit on the edge of your seat with that one, Rec. Ted. Rush was undefeated until he played real defense like Tampa and Philly. Yep. I mean, Roger. Not wrong. Giants winning. Is it fair to say Patty Mahomes is still better than Josh Fraud Allen? I mean, I wouldn't call Josh Allen a fraud. I mean, I feel that's a little aggressive, but Mahomes is pretty damn good. Patty Mahomes is, don't tell Scotty. We don't want to get him on his bandwagon with all of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patty Mahomes stuff, even though we're going to get to that eventually. Let's limit that. Why not? Because we're going to get plenty dosage of that later on. But I wouldn't call Josh Allen a fraud. I think that's a little much. He is a very, very good quarterback. And I'm telling you, most teams would want him on. You would want him on your roster if you're not a Bills fan. If you're not Chiefs fan, obviously, because Chiefs stuck with him, with Mahomes. Best quarterback in the league coming into the year, and it was the Bills and everyone else, says B-Rock. Josh Allen's good. So don't worry about him. He'll be fine. All right. Well, hey, speaking of, we got Patriots and Vikings next. Josh Allen is elite. However, I think his performance lately has taken him out of the MVP discussion. You're not wrong, Chairman. I think you're on when it comes to Josh Allen. I think he's had some games, and who knows how injured he has been. Obviously, there was a question whether or not he was going to play a couple weeks ago. There's been a lot of things that I think he's working through just from a health standpoint, but no excuses. I mean, you got other quarterbacks and everyone's banged up. This is kind of Thanksgiving week is kind of that point of the season where injuries are really starting to set in later, and like they could be kind of key aspects of how these teams down the stretch of the season can jockey for position, right? So, I mean, players start feeling it. It's a long season. I mean, we're already week 12. Week 12 of getting banged around. I mean, there's a lot of players out there that aren't feeling 100%. But Josh Allen's tough. You know he's going to be still running that football and just diving through like the offensive, defensive lines and all these things. Like he'll be fine. He's a tough guy. If it was like a smaller running quarterback of like anybody else, maybe I'm like, yeah, his durability might come into play. But Josh Allen's one of the tougher quarterbacks in the league. So, B-Rock, he has a losing record in the playoffs. Yeah, but I mean, again, he's elite. B-Rock earlier, Scotty, just to catch you up, was mentioning that Josh Allen's a fraud. And I wouldn't go that far. I was just pretty much saying I wouldn't go that far calling him a fraud.
I mean, he has a losing record in the playoffs, but he's had to play Mahomes a couple times.
See, I knew you.
Kind of unfair.
I knew. See, this is where we were going with that. I knew that.
It's unfair to just. I mean, he can still be elite and not be on the level of the best to ever do it. You know. No, Josh Allen's not a fraud. And to be fair, early on in his career, like he made a playoff game. I'm trying to remember when they made a playoff game. They were up a ton. I think it was against Houston, but he still wasn't at the level he is now. Like he's been at this level the last couple years, and prior to that, Josh Allen was kind of on a different level. He wasn't the guy he is now. So to equate what he did early on, where he wasn't really. The accuracy wasn't there. The knowledge wasn't there. He didn't have digs. And like the weapons weren't even there. Like it's a different picture. The last 2 years, he made AFC Championship game, lost to Mahomes. Last year, obviously the epic, one of the best games we've ever seen. Playoff game, back and forth. Can't blame him for losing that game against the Chiefs. It was just an epic battle between two epic quarterbacks in that matchup. So, and he was incredible, by the way. I think in the week before. Against these New England Patriots, what did he do? They didn't punt in that game. He scored like 7 touchdowns on 7 possessions or something stupid. So no, he's not a fraud. Has he made some poor choices in recent weeks that have cost them interceptions and maybe cost them games? Absolutely. So he's been a little off these last few weeks, but I'm not ready to bury Josh Allen by any means. I mean, B-Rock, when you say he's a fraud, how many quarterbacks in the league? If you were picking a quarterback to win you a game tomorrow, how many quarterbacks in the league would you pick over Josh Allen? Honestly,
probably just one. I mean, at least that. If
I'm asking B-Rock, but yeah, I mean,
10.
There could 10. No, stop. 10.
No.
10.
There's
not 10.
Name them. B-Rock, throw him out there. I want to know. He's the best. Yeah. Yeah, throw Cooper Rush is number 1. All right, I'll give you. He's better than maybe 3. I'm just kidding. No, we're not.
I'm gonna literally. Is there a way to get like an insta ban if someone says Cooper Rush in a comment?
I guess we can.
How does that ban? And that's our mod doing it right there.
We can implement that. Looked up a couple things out of curiosity. Lions have lost 5 straight Thanksgiving games before they won 4 straight.
They've won 4 straight. No, wait, what?
That's what Chairman threw in the chat. I haven't fact checked that yet, but
no, they have now won 4 straight Thanksgiving games. Oh, before that they won 4 straight. Before that they won 4 straight. Now that I'm reading it, because your reading comprehension is spotty at best, Chris.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. But
let's use Cooper Rush instead. This is what year 5. He's still growing, and it shows. He still has weeks off. Made some bad calls. True. And there, again, his MVP candidacy has kind of taken some hit. So, I mean, this last couple of weeks, I mean, it's all over ESPN. Some of the national, networks have been talking about how he's not in their MVP candidate anymore. I mean, that doesn't mean he's not a top quarterback in the NFL.
Rec put an MVP race out there. There is no MVP race right now, Chris. There's no race. Now, can things change because there's weeks to go? Yes, but if the season ended right now, there's no race. There's no race. Chris, it's pretty obvious who's winning MVP.
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's not close. Anyone who says Tua is close to Mahomes is... Tua added the one guy Mahomes lost, and now Tua looks great, and Mahomes still looks fucking great.
What would
So
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Just
call
saying.
Master Splinter if they had become brake specialists instead of ninjas? Master Cylinder.
Hey, there you go.
Nice.
I like it. I like it.
Love the Ninja Turtles. That was my jam growing up, man.
Uh,
Those were my dudes.
dude, Raphael, man, Raphael was
Yeah.
the shit.
Of course, Chris. You're just piling on your weak draft today with Raphael. Raphael, I know he was the strongest, but we're going off tangent. Chris, he was always a whiny bitch in the movie. Like, he's so whiny and pouty and gets in his feelings too much. He's so in his feelings.
He's like,
and he gets himself in trouble because he's like goes off and pouts.
What are you?
I know he's the best fighter. He's the strongest of them.
Yeah,
but
he's like
at some point
he's
you
like
just
the
gotta be
tough
like,
guy.
who gives a shit? No, he's not tough emotionally though. He's a bitch emotionally.
Hey, are you telling me you're a Michelangelo guy?
Oh, totally.
Oh my goodness,
Totally a Michelangelo.
He likes the clowns.
I would rank them. I would literally like rank them Michelangelo, Leonardo, and then last two. Growing up, I would have gone Donatello over Raphael. Raphael just annoyed the hell out of me because he'd go off and pout, and then he'd be in bad situations where the rest of the Ninja Turtles then need to come and save him because he pouted and whined and was a little baby.
He holds his own. He's tough. He's got one of the best weapons. He's got the two handheld like fork things, whatever those are called. B-Rock threw out his top 10 or his quarterbacks.
Okay.
Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, Jackson, Hurts, Tua, Burrow, Watson,
who hasn't played in like 8 decades.
And
Tua's never played in the playoffs. So when you're diving in on Allen being a fraud, Tua hasn't even played in a playoff game. Hurts is lost by 100 in his one playoff game last year. Lamar Jackson is epically known for choking in the playoffs. He's in a dumpster fire in the playoffs. Brady, fine, except he's just shell of himself right now. I don't know if I'd take Brady. I wouldn't take Brady over Allen.
I wouldn't.
And Rodgers hasn't looked like Rodgers this year. So, no, I would take Allen over all but Mahomes there, quite frankly.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. That's.
I mean, B-Rock, you're good with. Yeah, I mean, have your opinion and run with it, and that's fine. But like, your opinion is like Josh Allen hasn't won anything, but then you pick these guys that haven't done anything at all, like not even played in a playoff game, or one of the guys hasn't played in a year and a half.
Yeah, I it's hard for me to stretch some of those. I can maybe make a couple arguments, but even then, they haven't had playoff success like. High level playoff success, where it comes to like competing against the best, like the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Those games are epic, right? Those, I mean, not a lot of quarterbacks can stay in toe to toe in those kind of matchups. I don't know. It's a hard stretch on some of those guys, if not most of them. Ted FX, no, Raph was a tough New Yorker. You're rewriting history. Typical Dallas fan.
No, Raph was all up in his feelings all the time, and I'm not here for it.
Rodgers hasn't looked like Rodgers in the last 1.5 seasons. No one has anointed any of them the best quarterback in the league.
But that's not a reason to rank the guy behind these people. It's not his fault he's anointed that way. So I'm just talking about performance on the field. He performs better than those other guys on the field. Lamar Jackson literally has been awful in the playoffs. Awful. Way worse than Josh Allen. Way worse.
Let's see. The fraud came from Josh Allen being the best in the league by far, and he's not. So, I mean, I don't think that you can.
I mean, he's never won an MVP. If anything, Lamar's won an MVP, and he's performed worse. Listen, it's not his fault that people are anointing him as the best in the league, and to me, he's still 2. I'd still take him 2. Behind Mahomes, I'd take Allen over anybody else. Has he struggled a little bit recently with some bad choices and bad plays? Yes. Can he figure that out and be... I mean, even with that, I'm still taking him 2.
Yeah.
I can't get... I mean, that game we saw in the playoffs last year was epic. Absolutely epic.
Agreed. But hey, I love the passion behind it. I do. Hey.
Yeah.
keep throwing out your passions, right? Chiefs fan has bad taste in Ninja Turtles.
No,
that adds up.
I love the Ninja Turtles. I just don't like Raphael.
Chairman, if I'm putting a team together today, I'm picking quarterback 1, Rush, Avi, Mahomes, Allen, and then there's okay. All right, let's get to this Patriots Vikings matchup.
Someone did ask earlier. Milwaukee said if MVP is not a QB award, who would you say is MVP? Well, one, it's still Mahomes. Even if it's not a like a QB award, Mahomes is still the best player in the league. Like even if you take out the QB position, but after that's a good question.
Well, do you have to go probably? Well,
I might go Tyreek.
Yeah.
Forget Tua. We've seen what Tua was in an offense that wasn't that good and not that dynamic. Now you have a good coach, good offensive mind in McDaniels. You add Tyreek with Waddle. Like he's loaded up with like talent. It's not Tua. It's I might go Tyreek.
Moon Princess, shit. At this point, I'm with Scotty. Allen's good. Mahomes is better. Please screenshot this moment because I will never say this again.
Moon, we do have a running bet though. I don't know if you remember that on yards passing between Mahomes and Allen this year. So good luck with that.
Patriots Vikings. Let's get to this one. Vikings got embarrassed by a wide margin at home. I mean, one loss team, and they just got the doors blown off. New England, on the other hand, defense is playing pretty good, right? This is one of my best bets of the week, and I am all over Minnesota. Minnesota, for this bounce back here, I think this is going to be a huge bounce back for Minnesota. I think they cover this one the spread is 2.5. I'm surprised and shocked it hasn't gone to 3. They're at home. This Patriots team, I still am not really on board with. I mean, for offensively, I think that they can't hang with this Minnesota Vikings team. You know, New England's defenses look good, but that was against Sam Ehlinger and Zach Wilson. Let's put it in perspective here. Not very great. Center, there's an injury at center for the Patriots, which I think is a key position for them, especially in this loud environment. It's going to be hopping in Minnesota. David Andrews will be a key missing piece.
Andrews is going to play, isn't he?
I
think David Andrews.
I don't know. Either way, if he's banged up, regardless, if he doesn't play, that's even.
He's tough.
But on the road, short week. I just don't think that the Minnesota Vikings, they were embarrassed at home. I think they turn things around here against New England. Jefferson will be too much to contain for the New England secondary here. And this one of my best bets of the week, Minnesota, take them. I mean, even if it's by a field goal, I'm reckoning Andrews might be out for the season.
He literally practiced today. So what are we talking about? He's out for season, but he practiced today? No. Hard pass on that one. Dude practiced today.
Oh, TEDFX, Team Chris all the way. Never be a Scotty. I mean,
TEDFX is on an island today, but that's fine.
Ted,
you can have him. You can have TEDFX. You need someone in your corner, Chris.
I need somebody after that awful draft. Is the game in New England? No, this is in Minnesota, so it's gonna be popping here. So Scotty, what do you think about this matchup here?
At 2.5, I wouldn't touch it. At 3, I would lean Patriots actually.
Okay. Not one of your best bets of the week though.
No, I didn't pick this game. I don't have a great feel at 2.5, especially. Chris, on a neutral, I think the Patriots are the better team. I think Patriots are better. Yes, the Vikings are 8-2, Chris. They also have a minus point differential on the season. They have been outscored. And not only that, there's a yards per play stat that I find really important where they get outgained yards per play on the season by the opponent. And the Patriots are far better in that stat. I know the Patriots won very, very, very ugly last week against the Jets in a game that no offense wanted to participate whatsoever. I just have a weird feeling. Like normally on a short week, I'm like, oh, the road team's on a disadvantage. But Bill Belichick's been here before. He knows how to prep. I think this Vikings team, usually I'm like, oh, it's a bounce back game. But maybe they're just not. I think the Vikings are good. I just don't think they're very good. I hope the Vikings win this game. I don't like the Patriots, Chris, but at 3, I would maybe take a small bet on the Patriots. At 2.5, I wouldn't touch it, but I get where you come from. On paper, I just feel like on paper, most people are gonna think the Vikings are the clear pick here, and that scares me as well. But at the same time, Chris, I've said this time and time again. I used to love the idea of 3 football games on Thanksgiving. I will not make it through this game. I will 100% fall asleep before this game's over. Not because I want to, because I can't control it.
It's part of it. You always end up falling asleep at some point. It's just part of it. The game is on prime time. Put the farm on the Pats. So Ted against me on the Pats. He likes the Pats in prime time.
Welcome back to the good side.
Hey, when this is a 7-point win.
It is. You are betting on primetime Kirk, Chris.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't think about that. Moon Princess, I'm expecting the Vikings to try out strong, in the words of Eddie Izzard. Slowly collapse like the flan in the cupboard. I haven't heard that quote before.
I think it's from a song. I'm not familiar with that song, to be fair, either.
I don't know. But hey, I like it. There you go. So, interesting one. 42.5. Kind of a lower scoring game in this one as well. So, you're not going to get a ton of, average scoring game, I should say. So, we'll see what happens. How could you take Tyreek over Debo? Debo does it all, says Milwaukee's.
What? What?
Tyreek is, he's crushing it, man.
I mean, just look at the stats this year. It's not that hard. Tyreek has 1,148 yards receiving because he's a wide receiver. Deebo Samuel is so good at running back that the Niners had to trade for Christian McCaffrey. And what are his stats? Deebo Samuel has a lovely 468 yards receiving this year. So, yeah, I took the guy with 1148 versus 468. That's a wide receiver. Kill me. Sue me. Sorry.
B-Rock, I'm a diehard Niners fan, and that's a wild take.
Yeah. I like Deebo. I like what he offers, but he's also been injury prone a little bit through his career, more so than Tyreek. And Tyreek just has a wide receiver, different level. He's missed 2 games, but that's part of it. I can't take that out of the equation. He's missed 2 games. Tyreek doesn't miss games very often. I know that as a Chiefs fan.
Cheetah. So next up, we have Cincinnati and Tennessee. This one, Bengals favored by 1.5 at the Titans here, over under 42.5. Scotty, what are you looking for in this one? We got Joe Burrow coming in, seeing what he can do against this Titans team that, trying to make a name for themselves. Everyone's not giving the Titans credit back and forth, and rightfully so in some instances, and they're still battling, trying to carve out their part in the AFC. Both teams kind of are.
I mean, this is utmost disrespect, right? You have a Titans team that is 6-3, 7-3, 7-3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Winners of 7 of their last 8, only losing in overtime against Kansas City. So no shame there against a Bengals team that's kind of been up and down. I think are they getting Jamar Chase back? I think Jamar Chase might be back for this one.
He's been practicing limited. So there's promising that he's promising to make a return. Says Joe Burrow, I think, said that at some point this week.
Now, this is a rematch, obviously, of the playoffs last year where the Titans sacked Joe Burrow 137 times and still managed to lose the game. I just think on paper, this is a huge mismatch with the defensive line of the Titans versus the offensive line of the Bengals. At home for the Titans, I have this as a bet of the week and a teaser. So I'm teasing up the Titans from plus 1.5, 6-point teaser up to 7.5. And I love that. There's no way the Titans just play ugly, close football games. It's just kind of what they do. And the Bengals game won't be any different. The over under is 42.5 on this one. So if you give me Titans plus 7.5, I'm taking that and running with it. Not to mention the Titans are off. Like they played on Thursday last week. They have a longer prep for this one. Although were the Bengals on a bye? Now that I think about it, Bengals might have been on a bye last week. But yeah. Either way, I think the wrong team's favored here. I think this game's going to be a toss-up game. So give me Titans in a teaser 7.5. I feel really good about that. But I could easily see the Titans winning outright.
Yeah, I think I mean this is I didn't want to touch this game for a lot of reasons, just because of like I don't know which teams are gonna show up. Sometimes the Bengals just show up and they're the Bengals that we've been looking for them to be all season long, where the offense is clicking and they're Joe Burrow's moving and they're protecting him a little bit. And then there's games where they completely just don't do. I mean, same thing kind of comes with the Titans. I think the Titans are kind of in that camp, like you said. They like to muddy up games and make things like slow down. They like to run the ball. They like to grind out games, which is going to make this a closer game than what people think. I like the extra points that you're getting with the the Titans on this one, because I mean, I just think that, yeah, I mean, you have a team. I think that's kind of, people put a lot of stock into coming off a bye week and preparing and everything else. But I just think the Titans in this spot feel a little bit better. What's a teaser mean when you're betting? So, Ted, you can change the spread and adjust the spread of a game. So, for instance, this game is favored. The Bengals are favored by 1.5. You can add or subtract points, and it adjusts the odds accordingly. So, for example, Scotty's adding 6 points to this spread to make it so it's the Titans plus 7.5, which means the odds drop, and you have to account for that when it comes to the payout. So you're not going to get as much money.
Well, but no, because a teaser you have to pair. It's not a single.
Yeah.
Single
it's a parlay. It's tied with another team too. I was about to get to that.
Another game. So Ted, sorry. So the normal teaser is 6 points, and you can add or subtract. So if I took the Bengals, I'd subtract 6 points here, and I'd get them at plus 4.5. But I'm taking the Titans, so I get them plus 7.5. If that makes sense, I'm moving the line 6 points there, and then I'm moving the line in another game 6 points. But to win the bet, I have to have both of those bets win. Like if one of them fails, then I lose the bet outright. So a teaser is generally 6 points, and you bet on 2 different games. That's the normal teaser, and they both have to hit. If both don't hit, you lose the bet.
And we'll show you that when we show our best bets. Also, teasers, a tie is a loss. Just a heads up there too.
Not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
I think so.
No. Not true.
I might have to look that up because
it's not true. Most times when you tie, regardless of how the other game goes, it's a null bet. So you get refunded. That's how it works.
Because
you get refunded on your bet. So it doesn't even matter. Like, so if you honestly, this is how crazy it is. If you have a teaser where one team loses and the other team ties, you get refunded. But if you also have one where you tie and the other team wins, you get refunded. It's an automatic refund.
I think it might be different in different books potentially. That maybe I'm looking at this wrong, because there was another thing where I saw that sometimes maybe it's book to book. It's like a different thing. I could be wrong. Anyways, I digress. We're confusing you. Anyways,
it should be if you push on either portion of a teaser, you should just get refunded. The bet should be null, regardless of how the other portion of it does. That's how most books do it.
That's how most. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll have to look at that, because I heard in a couple betting podcasts that was you got to be careful with that, because there are some books that I don't know. Maybe I misheard them, but that's what I've heard in a couple different places. Different books do different things sometimes, so just keep an eye on that. All right. So next up, Broncos and Panthers. Oh, adding more points, says Rick. Or yeah, that's what you're. Yeah.
There's some teaser sites that like remove that portion, so it's just removes the tie, and then if you can do multiple legs, so it doesn't have to be a 2-leg teaser. It could be a 4-leg teaser, and then it removes that one and it becomes a 3-leg teaser if it's a tie.
All right. So Broncos, Panthers.
B-Rock let us know though. It's no action.
Yeah.
No
okay.
action.
Yeah. So there you go. B-Rock put it in there. So Broncos, Panthers. Let's ride. And we got Sam Darnold. Is this the premier matchup of the week, Scotty?
This is the worst matchup of the season, Chris.
This is probably the best game you'll see all weekend long.
36, and I'm like, I don't know how they get to 36. How do they get to 30? To get to 36, there's a defensive score in this game, which could happen on either side. I mean, Darnold could easily throw a pick 6.
This is going to be probably one of the least watched matchups of the weekend. You have the Broncos, who are the last in points scored, all average 14.7 points, dead last. Somehow the Carolina Panthers are what are they? They're actually somewhat decent, the bottom third, but I think they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from the bottom. So you're getting some high-powered offense with Sam Darnold coming in, and basically
first Darnold sighting of the year, though.
Yeah, and we all know that he ain't it. He's not that guy.
He's not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
And neither is Russell Wilson. So here we go. Broncos -2.5 favorites on the road here with Carolina. I have a best bet, and it's a teaser as well. I have one teaser this week, two teams in my teaser parlay, one of which is what I did last week with the Raiders and the Broncos, and that's tease the Panthers up to 8.5. So 8.5 is where I think this is safe. I mean, this is a low-scoring game. You're getting 8.5 points. One of my favorite teasers of the week. Broncos may win this one. I mean, they're making changes with how they do their play calling. They got the coach isn't calling plays anymore. He's not doing the clock management anymore. I don't know what he's doing anymore. He's not doing his job. It's pretty much what we're talking about here. And then you have the defense, who I think is going to hold Sam Darnold and this offense down a little bit, right? I think that there's, but I still think that this is just going to be a close, grindy game like every other Bronco game that we watch. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be no points. It's going to be nasty. So I'm taking just playing it safe, getting 8.5 with the Panthers in this one, knowing that this is going to be like a double doc was saying in the chat, 12-11, 16-16, says Michael. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I'm safe with that with my bet. I mean, it's all safe. So glad sports betting is not legal in Wisconsin, says Milwaukee's. But over-under's 36, yeah.
Yeah, actually, this is the other leg of my teaser, Chris. So my teaser bet is the Titans plus 7.5, and I too am on Carolina plus 8.5, just because with such a small over/under and inability to score on Denver's side, I know Carolina is awful and really, really bad, and Sam Darnold is starting for the first time, and he's the worst. But at the same time, it's 8.5 on a line of 36. Like, if the Panthers can score 10 points in this game, I feel like they're in a really good situation to cover that 8.5. So I'm with you. I'm on the teaser as well. That's my teaser of the week. Is we're a little different on the legs of the teaser, but we both have Panthers 8.5, and then I have Titans plus 7.5. You have a different leg that we'll probably talk about. We will talk about later on here.
Yeah. So
I don't need to talk about this game much, though. This game's going to suck.
This game's not going to be great. So we're going to move on to Packers-Eagles. Packers-Eagles, the two teams that are, well, they were going in different directions until the Eagles started losing some games too, or looking kind of questionable in their last couple games. Packers had one blip where they were looking decent, throwing the ball a little bit and actually being successful, and then back to being the normal Packers that we're used to seeing. Milwaukee's and half the team's not. Packers win next game. No need to talk about this one. Is it that simple?
Sounds like Milwaukee likes to say that one a lot. Like Packers win, no need to talk about it. Let's move on. Let's talk about the next game.
But Scotty, I don't know if it's that easy for the Packers to just come in, grab a win here at Philadelphia.
No, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be easy when they're 7-point dogs against a team that's lost one football game all year? I know the Eagles haven't been playing well recently.
Rodgers has a broken thumb, Scotty. He's a broken thumb.
Yeah, this is actually, Chris, honestly, I don't know if it was allowed in our picks of the week, but I would have done 2 teasers. I would have combined the Titans twice at plus 7.5 with the Eagles in this one. Bring the Eagles down to -1 and basically assuming the Eagles just got to win this football game, which I think they will. But this is Sunday Night Football for us, so we'll be on stream for this one, Chris. Eagles haven't played. They look a little off, certainly recently. Got very, very fortunate to win last week in a game they probably should have controlled throughout. And that was after obviously losing to Washington in an ugly football game the week before. So seems like the Eagles need to get back on track. The Packers 2 weeks ago after they beat the Cowboys, everyone's like, oh, and Rodgers was like, we're not dead yet. And then the Titans game happened and is like, oh, actually, you kind of are dead. You're kind of dead. And now you have a broken thumb to excuse yourself from and whatever. But I just don't think the Packers mentally are in it. I think it's a mismatch mentally and where their focus is and where they're at. Like the Packers are just kind of like almost to the point they're not used to being in this position and they're going to check out. If not now, very, very soon. Eagles focus, need to keep separation from Giants and Cowboys in the division. So I expect the Eagles to win this game, but I don't have it as pick of the week. Like I think it did move down to 6.5, but even at that, I just don't love the way the Eagles have played the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of lean a little bit more. I mean, I think the Eagles are 6.5 are like that's right where it should be. I think that's a safe spot for this line to be. They've been getting beat up in their run defense since Jordan Davis's injury, right? I mean, but think about this. They gave up 3.1 and 3.8 yards per rush in the last 2 games, one of which was against Jonathan Taylor. So, they're still, I mean, the Packers haven't been able to run the ball against the Titans. I mean, I don't know. The Packers averages 4.6 yards per play last Thursday against the banged up Titans defense. And then, the Eagles offense is coming off some down games, but those were some decent defenses, though. Hey,
let's go. Thank you, Round
Table. What's going on? How we doing?
Oh, the raid.
Hey, welcome in all you folks from the Round Table Wrestling Pod. Hope you had a great stream. I hope you're having a great night. We are Thanksgiving week. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the week, enjoying Thanksgiving coming up here in the next couple days. We got a lot happening with football, NFL, everything. So,
no, more importantly, Chris, we have Black Friday and leftovers and things like that.
Totally. Exactly. My name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your host for the ActionLab. We are here every Wednesday and Sunday, and also days that the Team USA plays in the U.S. men's national team plays in the World Cup, which will be Friday. So make sure you guys, hit that follow button if you guys want some sports action. It's not just around a table; it's around too. Yeah,
it's round.
It's round. So welcome. Hopefully you guys are having a great night. But yeah,
round tables are better, actually, Chris.
Yeah, don't tell that to a Bills fan.
Our father-in-law loves round tables and requests it at all restaurants because you're able to talk to more people at the table if it's a round table than a rectangle table.
Yeah,
which is true. Is true.
But no, I was saying earlier on this game, Eagles coming off 2 games against tough defenses, but the Packers are just lit up through the air by Ryan Tannehill. So, I mean, if Ryan Tannehill can light you up, I feel like this offense can kind of do some things through the air as well. I like the Eagles. It's not one of my best bets of the week. I stayed off it, but I would lean towards the Eagles in this one if I had to make a bet. Love the reference. Round, square, rectangle. We'll still jump through it. Yeah, I think the issues with the round tables is they're a little more sturdy their Moon Princess than those.
Well, but maybe a better landing ground, because sometimes you guys try and jump through tables and you miss the table completely. And that's my concern.
True.
Is the Bills fans, just make sure you hit the table. Okay?
Yeah. It's a big piece of the puzzle there when it comes to that. If you're drunk enough, you can jump through anything.
Or miss
Jumping
through anything.
True.
And just landing on pavement. And that's not a good situation.
Maybe the Vikings won't accidentally put a porn star in the jumbo board tomorrow. Did that happen?
Did they do that? I don't know that story.
I didn't hear that either, Rec. I missed it. By the way, no broken tables reported at Ford Field on Sunday, which I feel like is a mistake. There needs to be at least one. There needs to be at least one, right? If you're not,
I mean, that's disappointing.
That's kind of that might be the most
Bills
disappointing.
Fans at?
That might be the most disappointing thing for a Bills fan of that entire.
And now,
thing.
as a Lions fan, I'm mad, and I'm probably jumping through a table prior to this game this week. When you go out and dominate the Bills, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny Sins dressed as a soldier. LOL. Oh.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
I guess that's a porn star or something. I don't know. I don't know who that. I've.
So like a male porn star?
I guess
Johnny Sins.
Yeah,
I would assume male.
I guess.
Okay, I don't know why I jumped to female instantly.
Let's see. They said, please don't break any tables, and we listened. That was
nice. Although above, Moon Princess said, look, no one ever accuses us of being the smartest fans in the league. That's true. That's true. No one's going to say like Buffalo. Damn, some smart fans. Passionate, yes. Smart, no.
No broken tables in Green Bay because we were selling all our tickets to revolt against the current GM. Hey, fair enough. Again, dude, you gotta get your protest in. Next up, Rams at Chiefs. You want to talk about a game that preseason looked fantastic and now looks awful? It's this one. This ain't gonna be a lot of fun. But here's the thing: Rams Chiefs 14.5-point spread is massive. I don't know. This seems like Chiefs.
Where are you headed right now, Chris?
Huh?
Where are you going with this? You don't think the Chiefs cover 14.5?
I think this is let's just get it. Let's just play this one safe. Get healthy. It's a holiday week. Let's just put them away quick, and then maybe the Rams might score a couple late garbage scores or field goals or touchdowns or something, and maybe that they end up closing the gap here. They only lose by I don't know, like 13 or so. I don't know. I feel like it's not a big enough. It's too much for me. 14.5. I know they're starting I don't even know who they're starting. You mentioned the name. I don't even know who this guy is for the Rams.
Some guy that worked at Perkins, I think, or his last name's Perkins. I don't know.
I don't even know what his name is.
Undrafted free agent. I think he went to Virginia. I could be wrong. Byron Perkins or Brian Perkins or something like that. Bryce Perkins. Bryce Perkins.
We can't even get his name right. We don't even know what his name is. So
I learned today that he exists. So,
but
that should be a good matchup.
I just feel like this is. The Chiefs are just gonna coast in this one, run the ball a ton, maybe because they don't need to. They get up two scores and run the ball.
They never run the ball a ton. That's dangerous, Chris.
Get their boy Pacheco some more. Your boy Pacheco some more. Practice, because that's what this is going to be. It's going to be a practice inter-squad scrimmage with the Rams, and they're just going to take it.
We should just add Darrell Henderson for fun.
Too bad. He already got picked. He just got picked up.
Was he cleared out waivers?
Jacksonville picked him up.
I knew he wouldn't make waivers to the Chiefs, but for fun, I was like, maybe.
Yeah, I saw he got picked up. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay. We cover the Chiefs because I'm a Chiefs fan every week, but this one's gonna be Chris.
You might not watch this game.
As a Chiefs fan, I'm still even at times nervous for games. This game's gonna be ugly. We're gonna absolutely dominate. I mean, no Cooper Kupp, no Matthew Stafford, no ability whatsoever to do anything. This is a bad Rams football team. Ironically, after a Super Bowl win last year, but Mahomes cleans up here, the Chiefs clean up and take care of business. I think they cover 14.5. I didn't make it a bet of the week, but They cover 14.5.
I think the lucky ticket. Wait, where is it? It's scrolling on me. I think he got a lucky ticket in a candy bar. Now gets to start at quarterback. Bryce Perkins. He might. The Willy Wonka.
Probably.
The Willy Wonka ticket, golden ticket. Hey, congratulations! I mean, Scotty, they might call us up soon to play quarterback for the defending champions here. I mean,
Yeah.
you might be able to complete some more passes than some of these other guys.
And the Rams, Chris, the Rams are in the same position as your Broncos. Like, it doesn't feel good to lose these games because guess what? You don't have your draft pick. The Lions get their pick, and Lions are going to have a high draft pick, not because of themselves, but because of the Rams, ironically, as Chairman kind of put out there. Ted FX, does Mahomes go for the record 8 TD passes? No, only because it's unnecessary. He'll be out far before that. I don't think the Rams are going to put up a lot of points. It's a big mismatch, Chris. Big mismatch.
Ted, he's not a Cowboy. His Cowboys are his second team. Cowboys.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a Chiefs fan.
No, he's a Chiefs fan by far. Number one is that's his team. But NFC, he has a lot of connections with the Cowboys through various amigos, right? So yeah, he jumps in and cheers for the Cowboys every so often when the outside of the Chiefs.
Salty.
Salty. That Lions draft pick is looking good, not because of us this time. The Rams won over a Super Bowl, and they very next season they bombed so badly no one believed they could win the Super Bowl. Like, man, the Rams have fallen from grace so quick. It's crazy. I mean,
those shirts that said "F them picks" don't look so good right now, Chris. The Rams franchise is gonna be in disarray moving forward. They have nothing to work off of. Nothing.
They got their Super Bowl, and they sold their soul and their picks,
their soul,
and all their picks. And hey, congratulations, you got it. But it's gonna be a rough road ahead, just so you know.
Oh,
yeah,
very rough.
But Chiefs,
very rough.
Chiefs cruising this one. The over/under's at 44, which again, 44.
I just think like the Chiefs will get to like 24-27 pretty quickly, and like
coast.
The Rams will be at like 7, and they'll just be like, whatever. Let's not score anymore.
Steelers at Colts. Here we go. Week 12.
The game we've been waiting for.
This is it. This is the marquee matchup.
Is this Monday night? I think this is Monday night.
It is. So Colts
great
-2.5 favorites at home here in this one. Wreck, your Steelers, your boy Watt, he's back. He's feeling good. And I think he's gonna do some work against this Indianapolis Colts offensive line. I think that this game, this is one of my best bets, and it's the other half of my teaser bet. I like teasing up 8.5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one, because I think this game is going to be a little bit closer. I mean, honestly, I think the Steelers are going to keep this competitive. So I love getting 8.5 in this one. Over/under 39, so it's not going to be a ton of points. But with this, I teasing the what was my other? It was
you had the Panthers over the Broncos.
So Panthers 8.5 and Steelers plus 8.5. I think TJ Watts gets to the quarterback. I think this offensive line is gonna struggle a little bit here with Pittsburgh. So I think this low scoring. I'll take extra points. That's where I'm at with this one. Take the Steelers money line. The Colts haven't beat the Steelers since they had 5 rings, says Rec.
ZFX, why didn't they flex this game? Like flex it out? Is that what you mean? To be fair, this is a Monday night game. They only flex the Sunday night football games. Monday night is entrenched because of the schedule and how that works for teams. So that'll never get moved. So this one would never get moved if that's what you meant. Or maybe you just meant let's flex this into primetime because it's going to be a barn burner. I don't have a great feel in this game, Chris. Colts have played weirdly pretty well under Saturday. Should have beat the Eagles last week, won the week before against the Raiders. the Steelers are kind of like a little up and down. The offense you can't rely on. The defense steps up at times. It's probably going to be a low scoring game. So, yeah, getting 8.5 points with the Steelers is probably the good call. And I'm not on that, but I agree with it. Either way, this is going to be a Monday night game that will probably not be the most attractive game to watch, but competitive. I think it'll be close because neither team's going to run away with this based off their offense. Has shown a propensity to not be able to score early and often.
Yeah. Again, this is. I think Pickett is getting a little bit better. He's making a couple steps forward. I think I mean, Jeff Saturday almost went 2-0 before Jalen Hurts kind of sent him packing with a loss with that last touchdown in that last matchup. But I don't know. I think Pickett's making some strides. I think he's getting a little bit. I mean, we talked a lot about his intangibles last stream about how maybe he's not. We don't want to get that debate started again. But all I'll say is I feel like he's getting a little bit more in a rhythm, and I think that that's going to help them in this matchup to keep this one close. Again, also with the defense that TJ Watt can bring on Matt Ryan, who Matt Ryan is like a statue back there in behind that offensive line, who maybe is going to struggle a little bit. So, but yeah, I think the Colts are a weird team. They've played kind of tougher in the last couple matchups since Jeff Saturday's taken over. So we'll see. Hurts so good, says Ted FX. But yeah, hey, this one's gonna be closer than people think.
Milwaukee Colts should have hired Pat McAfee. There's no way they can afford Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee makes way more money than the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Pat McAfee does
way more money.
He does well for himself.
Way more money.
If Najee Harris
any coach in the league, it's not close.
I mean, his podcast alone, but then he also does some broadcasting for.
He does like College Game Day. He does WWE stuff.
He's got his hands.
He's everywhere.
He's
everywhere. That dude is raking in probably, in my mind, close to like 30 to 40 million a year.
Let's see. TJ had one of the best INTs of the year last week. Devil Doc, if Najee runs good again Monday, we win. It takes pressure off KP. It helps the flow. So yeah, it takes pressure off Pickett. Yeah, I mean, I think this will be interesting. I'll keep an eye on this game. Obviously, I'll be watching. It's
easy to watch. It's the only one on.
It's the only one on. But you know what I haven't seen recently is like, they're still doing the Manning casts, right?
Not every week. They haven't recently, but I think it's still going forward. I don't know if they're doing it this week. Let me look.
He's raking in millions and millions and millions. That's a wrestling reference, given the fact that he's in it's a rock reference. But I mean, it's also a Pat McAfee reference.
They took a break after week 9 and aren't back till week 13, which is next week. So
I was wondering why I haven't seen any like Manning highlights and stuff recently. Don't think Pat wants to be a head coach. He's a pro wrestler, radio host. He's doing pretty good. Yes.
Pat McAfee was, to be clear, he was a punter in the league. No one's hiring Pat McAfee as a head coach. I love Pat McAfee as an entertainer. As a head coach, that would be the absolute worst fucking hire ever. No offense.
Moneymax.com. McAfee makes $16 million a year.
No way.
Milwaukee.
What's his FanDuel?
Milwaukee has it here. $150 million contract with gambling. Says Milwaukee.
FanDuel. It was with FanDuel.
Is it FanDuel?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pat McAfee contract. $120 million over 4 years. So he's getting $30 million a year simply through FanDuel.
He's getting paid more than most NFL players.
That website sucked.
Why can't we get some of that money, Scotty? Why don't we do some FanDuel stuff? Maybe we should. We should.
Maybe we just gotta like hang out with Pat McAfee and be like, hey.
I mean, based off of these scores on our picks of the week, based off our records for picks of the week.
Yeah, we could help out.
Oh, man.
Could help him out.
Hey,
What's up? Thank you for the follow, Plow Dog Gaming. How are you doing, man?
Plow
We're doing
Dog,
good. We're
welcome.
running through our picks of the week now. We've run through a lot of different things today. I dominated Chris in a Thanksgiving draft. We talked World Cup soccer. We talked some NFL football. It's been a good night.
Yeah, it's been a great night, guys. We are going to be live. By the way, all you guys who are new, thank you for all the follows. Hit that follow button. If you're just kind of hanging out, you're new to the channel. My name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your host for the Action Lab here every Wednesday, Sunday, and every U.S. national game. I have Scotty's got his hat on. I got the USA flag in the back. We are all on the USA games. So this Friday, we will be live. So we will be checking that out. With all of you guys, if you guys are into watching World Cup soccer, make sure you're with us each and every time. Hit that follow button so you get those notifications each and every time we go live. But here are our bets of the week, Scotty.
Yes, sir.
We finally missed an agreed bet last week, so we got to get back on track with that. We both like Detroit plus 9.5. I have I'll just go down mine and then I'll let you kind of throw yours out there as well. I have a teasing up 8.5 for Carolina and for Pittsburgh in their matchups. I have Minnesota winning by at least a field goal. And I also have the under in the Dallas Giants 45.5. I think that one's a low scoring, grindy game, running the football a ton. So there you go. That's what I got, Scotty. Go ahead, jump in yours. There's one we did not cover.
Yeah, covered through the 4, not Atlanta, plus 4.5 at Washington. Listen, I more of the spot. I think Washington is in a letdown spot. They had a big win 2 weeks ago against Philly on primetime. Walk over Houston this past week, but Houston's in shambles. I think Atlanta, Washington. I just don't think Washington's as good as people think they are. I think they're below average football team. So give me Atlanta plus 4.5 in a game that I don't think will have a ton of points scored in it, quite frankly. As I say it out loud, I don't know if I love it, but I'm taking Atlanta plus 4.5. I was close to taking Jacksonville plus 4. That would be my other pick. Jacksonville plus 4 against Baltimore, weirdly. I like a lot. Devil Doc, Scotty Rock Chalk, J Hawk. Looking good so far. Yeah, our Jayhawks 5-0, beating Duke, getting a win against NC State, and moving on to Wisconsin tomorrow. So I get to watch them play in the battle for Atlantis, out in Atlantis, in the Bahamas there. So yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend, Chris. We got football tomorrow. I get college basketball. We get USA England on Friday. Ooh. We have Saturday, we have at least Ohio State, Michigan, which is entertaining for everybody involved. Big one in college football, Sunday football. Like, everything is right in the world right now.
Everything is great. It's. I mean, when you get World Cup, NFL, college basketball, college football, literally every sport is running right now, and it's like, I mean, outside of baseball, obviously, but it is incredible time right now. This is like the best time to be a sports fan. But real quick though, I was looking at one other spread and fast, like, not because the game is going to be good. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not excited for it. But the line on the Chicago Bears New York Jets game is fascinating to me. Scotty, the Jets are favored. So we found out Zach Wilson's not going to be playing in this one. He called out he didn't take accountability this week in a press conference when they asked, your defense played pretty well. How do you think your offense did to help them out? And he was like, nah, we're good. He pretty much just like crushed that. Well, he's not playing this week. And I have a feeling there's a little bit of Zach Wilson, fatigue when it comes to his attitude, right? So he's not playing. This spread has kind of gone back and forth. Jets are favored by 5.5. Now, I think with this is baked in with the whole Justin Fields thing because he's kind of in question. But this line still, I've seen some people say if Justin Fields does not play in this game, the Jets could balloon to almost 9.5, 10-point favorites with this backup quarterback. And I'm just like, what is going on in this matchup? Like, what am I missing? because there's commentary in a couple different outlets that I trust very, very well. They're saying this could be a Jets 10-point game. And I know the Bears aren't, great without Justin Fields. So, man, this is a weird one.
Listen, all of that aside, you just can't smartly bet that game.
No, you can't.
Don't know.
You don't.
Literally, you haven't the quarterback starting for the Jets. You haven't seen all year. You don't know what to expect from him, and you don't know who's going to play at quarterback for the other team. So for the Bears, yeah, all these projections and whatever, but you can't actually bet that game because you have no idea what's going to happen.
I mean,
with the quarterback for the Jets and who's even playing for the Bears, because Fields could still play, and if he doesn't play, it's probably a dumpster fire. But it's not like all of a sudden Mike White, we're just sure Mike White is the chosen one. He's played before with the Jets and been very up and down, and mostly down, Chris. He had one really, really good game, and the rest were kind of garbage. So why we're so confident that Mike White's just going to take him over the top, I'm not too sure.
I mean, the Jets, last time they faced a defense not in the top 10, they put 27 on Green Bay. I mean, they do well against bad defenses. They figure out ways. The offense seems
I think they had a pick six in that one, but yeah.
But yeah, they still need to put up some points offensively in those matchups. But yeah, it's just an interesting one. Obviously, I didn't bet it because of this very volatility. If you like to live life on the edge, it's like you bet on the 5.5 now, knowing that if Justin Fields is even banged up and doesn't play or gets knocked out of this game, it blows up to a 9-point spread. That's living life on the edge.
I gotta do a code yellow. I know we're almost done here, Chris, but I've been trying for a while, but I gotta do another code yellow. I'll be right back.
Spam code yellow in the chat. Rec, let's see what you got here. I have a bet for you. If I go to the casino on Saturday, I'll do your best bets minus the Detroit game, betting $10 for each one. If I win, half of my winnings go to you. If I lose, you give me half of my losses. Interesting. I like the creativity with that wager right there. I think that's an interesting one. Guys, by the way, we do bets with you guys all the time in our Discord. Reckoning, can you throw the Discord link in the chat? We have bets with Milwaukee's. We have bets with Reckoning and Helv. All you guys. Moon Princess has a bet with Scotty. And whether it's we wager gifted subs or we wager gifting out, giving you guys some merchandise or something from our store, things along those lines. We have a lot of fun doing things like that. So join our Discord. If you have some bets you want to offer us, throw it in there. Throw it in our chat. Let's have some fun with it. But that's an interesting one. When Scotty gets back, we'll think about that one because I like that. Obviously, we're pretty confident in our best bets of the week. We're 29, 14, and 1, or at least I am, and then Scotty's 27 and 17. These numbers are outrageous. Chris, by the way, due to Minka and Simmons being hurt, should our bet be null and void on the season stats? I think I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know. I think, it does take away a lot, and there's a lot of other team aspects that go into that. But real quick, let's get to the other one first, though. Scotty, Reckoning has a little bet for us that he wants to offer. If I go to the casino on Saturday, I'll do all your best bets minus the Detroit game, betting $10 for each one. If I win, half of my winnings go to you. If I lose, you give me half of my losses.
He's betting how much on each one?
$10 on each one. So taking out the Detroit. Yeah. So.
Sure.
I
would love him to donate to the. I was hoping it was going to be a higher number so he could donate more.
He's Rec, he's
betting against our record, Rec.
He's betting. I'm confident in our picks of the week, Scotty. We've done fairly well for ourselves.
Got a couple teasers in there that are going to hit. No, I feel good about it.
But he was asking also, due to Minka Fitzpatrick and Simmons being hurt, should our bet be null and void?
Your preseason bet?
I think, yeah. Because realistically, they don't match up the same number of games, and it's it's just I think there's a lot of was trying to figure out a way to keep it going, and I just didn't think it would work. But yeah, most likely it's just null and void. My bet's not looking good, says Milwaukee's. We got to go back and look at that bet too. But while we have you guys, I know we're getting to the bottom of the hour here, and we know you guys have a lot to get ready for this Thanksgiving. We know we have a lot to get ready for tomorrow, Scotty. We're going to be spending some time together all day, pretty much. Hanging out together.
You can't choose family, guys.
No, you can't. And
I gotta embrace it.
I gotta somehow put up with Scotty talking about Patrick Mahomes for half the day. So pray for me.
Well, we could talk about Russell Wilson if you want. Nathaniel Hackett, the Broncos team in general, if you want. We could talk about that too.
But all in all, we're all getting ready for Thanksgiving, and we want to end the show talking about what we're thankful for, right, Scotty? Because there's a lot to be thankful for. And I mean, one of the biggest things is, we have a lot of fun on this show. Honestly, I couldn't be more thankful for this show and for what you guys as a community bring to what we have going here. Are we siblings? No, we are not. We're brother-in-laws. So yeah, our wives married us and brought us into this whole family, and we are just along for the ride. Sister wives. So
that sounds weird when I say it.
It is kind of strange. But no more updates. I forget. Let's do the contest real quick. I forgot we do.
Don't we update that on Sundays?
Oh, you're right. After the weeks, yeah. Milwaukee's. We'll do
that on Sunday.
We'll do Sunday. Sunday we'll update the contest rankings after the full day's games. So
Moon Prince is like, that's not correct, Scotty. Like the sister wives, that's not correct. Our wives are sisters.
Sister wives.
How does that work? I mean, why is that different than wives that are sisters? Sister wives. I don't know what it means. I literally don't know what it means.
Cuban's asking if we live in Utah. Yeah, I mean,
we do not. Never been to Utah, actually. But I hear it's lovely.
In all seriousness, guys, we appreciate. We tell you this all the time, and we are so thankful to have started this stream going on 2 years ago, Scotty, in this coming December. And it's wild to think where we've come from streaming to like 2 people to streaming to everybody that we have in our chat, all our community in our Discord, all of our people on our social media. I mean, you guys are like our family away from our families. Like, we know you guys very well and have a great time each and every single time we jump on the stream. Scotty, when we first dove into this thing, we had no idea what to expect. You didn't even know what Twitch was or live streaming sports content is. It was at the time.
No. Fortunately, I'm a natural at it, but no, I'm just kidding. No, I was like, I knew what Twitch was vaguely, and you were all about it, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's try it out. Live streaming, I mean, I was kind of just like, oh, that makes sense. Why not?
Yep. But
sister wives is usually used to refer to women who are dating married to the same man. Nope. I used it wrong, guys. Used it wrong. Didn't know that. Sorry. Our wives are in fact sisters. How about that?
That's just, it's simpler. Yeah. But thank you guys for everything you've done for us. We have a lot of things in store for you, literally, like some things that we were talking about this afternoon that we can't wait to share with you guys, all you guys who have supported us all the way through this time. And
look at this dude.
That's what we're thankful for this Thanksgiving is you guys. You guys carry us. It's so nice to have this stream, this family. Scotty, anything to add on?
I mean, in general, no. I absolutely appreciate you guys and everyone who joins us like week in and week out. Like, it's honestly incredible because it's a grind at times for us, Chris. Like, I mean, we love doing it, but also it's like it's twice a week, every week for 2 years. That's a lot of commitment, and for you guys to show up all the time and be here with us and join us like means a ton to us and makes it worthwhile for us. So appreciate that. Honestly, when it comes to Thanksgiving, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like, unfortunately, we live in a world where it becomes more and more pessimistic more and more. Where have I been wronged? What is wrong in my life? Who to blame? What am I angry about? Instead of focusing on the great things. And maybe there's not a ton of great things all the time. Maybe there's a lot of bad. But even when there's bad, there's a little good. There's always a little good, right, Chris? So I don't know. Tomorrow, when you're watching football on a couch, that's a great thing, right? Like, be thankful instead of resentment. I don't think our community is necessarily like this. I'm preaching to probably a crowd here, Chris, but like in general, I find the world to be too resentful and too angry these days. Instead of focusing on the wins and focusing on the great things in your life. So this Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day together. Focus on the good things in your life. Focus on the loved ones. Focus on your teams, the amount of food you get to eat tomorrow, whatever that may be. Focus on that. And then good news, guys. You could also just focus on seeing us again on Friday, because we'll be back on Friday for that U.S. England soccer game, 2 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock local time for us. Chris, don't miss it. We're going to have a lot of fun. That game's going to be epic. That's not one to miss.